This is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guest.
Are you looking for awareness, motivation, inspiration, or just some feel-good talk radio? If so, you've come to the right place. Dr. Nancy knows how to do just that. With her extensive experience and knowledge, she is dedicated to providing care, health, and wellness information and education to the greater Phoenix metropolitan area and beyond. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Dr. Nancy knows. Starts now.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Welcome. This is your celebrity medical doctor, and this is Dr. Nancy Knows, where experts in their field of industry come on the show and tell us what they're doing in the community, along with celebrities as well. We do have celebrities that come on the show to tell us what they're doing in the community that's impactful for all parties. Listen, this is a multicultural platform where, we're bridging the gap and bringing the nation together. We're uniting the nation. We are on all social media platforms, drnancyknows.com, streaming to you live, as well as Facebook, YouTube, and eMotion Radio, Facebook Live. We are also on a web podcast, and that's TuneIn and Spotify. I'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters of the Dr. Nancy Knows show. We're super grateful to have people like you all watching and supporting the show to bring current events, topics that are near and dear, that bring awareness to everything that is under the sun. We need to know what's going on, and we need it to come from credible sources as well. I'm Dr. Nancy Gaines Dillard, 25 years of practicing medicine. I have a strong background in emergency medicine, trauma, and family practice. I'm board certified. Our sponsors, eMotion Radio, Javier, Veronica, and Julian. They're the owners of the station. Thank you so much for putting me on each week, making me look good behind the scenes. Thank you, guys. ProFit Laser Lipo, Gary Charlson. Hi, Gary. Revision, that's David Tucker and his team. He is a medical device national distributor. Thank you so much for your support. I'd like to thank Apex Transitional Housing, and that is the CEO and founder, that is Derek Earl. Maggie's Makeup. Hey Maggie, I just left you. Maggie Gorin, she's a part of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine. And listen, she is for hire. If you like the way I look each week, brought to you, she put nails on this morning. Do you guys like that? Send me a text or message me and tell me whether you like the nails or not. It's a new look for today. We'll see how it goes. But Maggie Gorin does all types of special events, quinceañeras, weddings, and if you want to know and take part in her services, she can be reached at 480-669-6452. Ally Spine Center, that is Dr. Christopher Condon. He is one of my affiliates, my collaborating partners, Chiropractic Service, Corrective Spine. Thanks, Dr. Chris. And also our friends Lynn and Peter, the Laser Spa at Sonoma. Thank you guys so much for your support. Let's talk about current events. What is this month? It's still March, and it is Women's History Month. I'm super excited and proud to be a woman, and our expert guest for the show is Renee Washington, and I'd like to give you a quote of what her beliefs are, and it is, "Positive vibes only with Renee Washington. Life is 100% of what happens to you and 90% how you respond. Change your approach, change your life." You're going to hear from Renee Washington on the next segment. She is a 3-time Division I All-American soccer athlete, ESPN Fox News sports reporter as well. She is a mentor, a model, and an author. So you're going to hear all about what she's doing in the community and her journey as to where she is today and what she continues to do in the coming years to come. You know, it is my motto here at Dr. Nancy Knows, be the change that you wish to see. Be the change. It only takes one. Good morning, Eva. Yes, absolutely. What else do we have for this morning, this month actually, Women's History Month? Do you know that women entrepreneurs are the fastest growing in our industry? Well, we are, so kudos to that. Never give up. Just don't let fear paralyze you, and take a step outside of your comfort zone and see what the possibilities that you can discover about yourself. It's often through your challenges that you discover we can do it. That was perfect timing. Awesome. Listen, let's talk about COVID. COVID is with us. It's been around for a while. It's been very impactful on our nation and the world as it is. However, we are making a difference. We are definitely. We're practicing social distancing, staying home when we're sick, and getting the vaccine. Individuals, 72 million Americans have gotten the vaccine, one or the other. There are 3 pharmaceutical companies out there that are providing vaccines for us. That is Johnson & Johnson, our latest, Moderna, and Pfizer. Get your vaccine. Statistics. Now, we are doing our part, just as I've said, and our numbers are really just, they're just staying right around the same. So that's a really great thing because, over the past year, they have been soaring. And, the numbers look great. In the United States, the number of cases is 29.7 million. And that's about the same as last week. Worldwide, 122 million. It hasn't crept up much from that either. Did you know that our children, adolescents and children, make up about 25% of our country? Well, they do. And our pharmaceutical companies, with regard to the vaccine, are vaccinating our children, adolescents 16 and over. But, what about our young ones? They are 2 to 5 or 7 to 11. Well, research is still in the works, and they're trying to determine what safe dosage would be most appropriate for these individuals. 25% of our children make up the nation, and our goal is to reach herd immunity. So if you are one of those immunocompromised individuals, first responders, sickness and illness, the vaccine can help save your life. Johnson & Johnson states that, listen, if you get the one vaccine, it doesn't have to be specially refrigerated. If you get this vaccine, it can 100% keep you from dying and out of the hospital. All right? So consider that. Now listen, I did put up a little video just earlier. We're going to do a screenshot of where there is a QR code. So if you have a smartphone, hold it up to the camera, and what that will do is that'll take you to a link where anywhere in the United States you can discover and find out where there are locations that the vaccine in your town is being offered. Very good. Listen, now, we do have some special services all the time. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, we have NG Cares healthcare memberships. And what that does is it satisfies the minimal essential cares under the Obamacare Act and for care. So in the marketplace, there is major medical, like Access or Blue Cross or Cigna. NG Cares meets the minimal essential cares, and what NG Cares does is that it provides a healthcare provider that will give you screening, immunizations, blood work all year round, and also partnering with healthcare providers such as chiropractic services, massage therapy, acupuncture, as well as hypnotherapy and psychology. So if this sounds like something that you may be interested in, you can go to ngcares.com or give us a call at 480-669-6452. Remember, NG cares about you. We are just about out of time for this segment, and you do not want to miss. Stay tuned for Renee Washington. She is coming up next to give us some information about what she has been doing and what she's triumphant over. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy. Welcome to our clinics. We believe that personalized care and relationship building are the basis of improving health outcomes. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you gain healthcare providers who take the time to understand your health goals and find solutions. We offer optional medical memberships, giving you peace of mind and quality care. We provide both medical and aesthetic services in 2 Arizona locations. We practice the highest standards of patient care. We respect patients' rights. We safeguard patient confidences. We treat patients with compassion. You are invited to call the office to schedule an appointment or online at a time that is convenient for you. Call to schedule 480-669-6452 or visit our website at drnancysintegrativemedicine.com.
Are you a business owner looking for ways to invest in your staff's health? Their well-being is key to a long-lasting employment life. NG Cares healthcare membership packages allow you to leverage pre-tax dollars and applicable tax health incentives. Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, introducing NG Cares healthcare membership packages to include primary care and injury office visits, management of acute and chronic disease, 24/7 telehealth services, preventative care, labs, immunizations, and chiropractic office visits. You receive discounts on diagnostics and services offered at Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine as a preferred member. Combine this with paycheck protection plans such as accident, short-term disability, hospital bridge, and a life insurance is priceless. 2 plans to choose from, Elite and or Pro. Packages starting at as low as $225 a month. Remember, NG cares about you. For more information, you can go to ngcares.com or call us today at 480-669-6452.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Listen, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. And my next guest is who you're going to want to know. Her name is Renee Washington. She is a 3-time Division I All-American soccer athlete. And she actually is also an ESPN Fox Sports reporter. So before I bring her on, I'd love to introduce Renee Washington to you. She is fresh and positive and accomplished television and radio announcer for the Philadelphia Union as Gameday Host. You'll see Renee on ESPN and as a Fox Sports anchor covering the Wizards, Mystics, NCAA. She hosts Fox Sports Radio Beyond the Headlines every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, covering headlines for the latest soccer, basketball, and football highlights. News for the weekly sports wrap as well. As a model, motivational speaker, and 3-time All-American Division I soccer player, Renee is an all-star athlete in soccer in her own right. She continues to bring inspiration by highlighting someone making positive impact in their community through positive vibes only. Planted, not buried. PNB is a people helping people connection created by Ms. Washington. It's accessed through messaging application called Slack to connect self-care, motivation, networking guidance, and positive connection. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to Renee Washington. Good morning, Renee. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for that incredible introduction.
Well, you know what? I know that there's so many more accolades of you, but I want, and I could never do you justice. You do so many things. You've said it before, you wear so many hats. And, you know, that's a gift that you've embraced. And that's not always so easy. When you're called to do something and you actually step up to the plate to do it, that's miraculous. So I commend you for all the things that you do and exemplify, and by making an example of, you can do this. If you set your mind to it, you stay positive, you can inspire others, and when you do that as well, you inspire yourself. But it really all starts here. So thank you for being on the show, Renee.
Thank you. And you're absolutely right. It is a mental hurdle in itself, because it is a decision to be made that you're not going to just do the bare minimum. You're not going to just get complacent with what you have going on in life, but continuing to always evolve and grow. And I appreciate your kind words. So I'm excited to be able to talk more about what I do and just in general with all the great work I know you do as well, to join you on your show.
You're absolutely right, Renee. It's so easy to talk about it, but at the end of the day, what difference are you really making? And when I met you and connected and read your story, I said, all right, we are so aligned with our morals and values and what we want to do in this world, and it really does take one. And so when you walk in and come into the concept of, I can do this, and it just takes one, it's so infectious and it's contagious. And this is what people like you do. And that inspiration is free, motivation is free. And I just really love what you do. And I want my viewers and yours that you've invited as well to tell us the road that you traveled. And of course, we all know it's never easy.
No, it's not at all. I think for me, I always try to tell people that my path is unique from everybody else's, to have them really understand the fact that no two paths are alike. You can try to walk in someone's shoes and emulate the journey and the lessons and the challenges they've overcome, but at the end of the day, you have to pave your own way. So, for me, getting started as an athlete myself, having an opportunity to play soccer at a high level in college, playing a little bit professionally, I also coached college soccer, to now be able to cover sports as a reporter, there were a lot of leaps of faith. There were a lot of moments of doubt. There were a lot of moments of uncertainty, and just pursuing what I wanted my career to be, and as you mentioned, wearing different hats was very vital for me, because I always tell people the purpose for me is to be able to use my platform, similar to exactly as you are, to give a voice to the voiceless, to inspire, to encourage, to motivate. So, I wanted to pave my career in a way that not only was I covering major stories in sports and working in professional athletics as well as college athletics, but also through it all, continuing to pull somebody along, continuing to encourage someone, continuing to provide these stories that hopefully in some way will help the next generation or another person. So that for me is really what I've been striving to do and hoping to continue to grow within that. And I've been fortunate to have so many supportive people and allies and advocates and colleagues that I've connected with, such as yourself, to help push that notion.
I love your energy. I love your spirit. And like I said, it is so infectious. And the energy that you put out in the universe, it does come back to you, and that which you seeks you in return. And, discount all the naysayers, discount all the negativity, just delete it, because believe in yourself. And you're right, everybody's journey and walk of life is certainly different. But, along the way, we do have individuals that keep us motivated, mentors as well. Renee, who has been instrumental in your life that has geared you, empowered you to be the strong alpha female?
Well, at the foundation of who I am comes my spiritual faith. I'm a very religious person. So, I believe that everything that I am doing is not by mistake, not by accident, but is, me stepping into my destiny and my purpose. So, of course, God, and then also my family. I'm very fortunate that I have a very supportive, loving family. I come from a sports family. My dad played professional basketball overseas. My mom played basketball in college. All my siblings have played sports. We have grown up around sports. So for me, pursuing a job within an industry where there are not many that look like me. As a sports reporter, as an anchor, there are oftentimes I'm the only woman, the only Black person, the only Black woman. And so for me to be able to have such a strong support system in my family and in my faith, that has helped propel me. And then along the journey, I've met a number of great colleagues. I have mentors that I work with that have helped me tremendously, that work in some of the major networks, ESPN, CBS, NBC Sports, Turner Sports down in Atlanta, Georgia. I have mentors, but it all started with having people around me to help give me that motivation that I can do this and I can be whatever I want to be within my career. So I always encourage people, you can't lose yourself. You're going to lose some people along the way. You're going to learn some things along the way. But it takes a village. You have to have strong people around you that will keep you in check, motivated, and focused, because it is within any industry a challenge that you mentally have to be prepared for.
You're absolutely right. And thank you, Samira. You're right. Believing in God and trusting in yourself. And again, you have to command the stage because you're the only female, only multicultural ethnic female in a predominantly male environment, particularly in the sports reporting arena. You command it. You come in confident. You have your mind right. I can do this, and people will take you seriously. Listen, you just can't come in thinking that, they'll believe in me. Well, you have to believe in yourself first. And you've got to walk that walk. And when you do that, you can literally win people over, and that's just how it is. That's how it is, and it's okay. It's okay. When you come in and you're confident, you gain the respect of others, and then the other individuals that are already supportive of you, it's like, you go. You've been doing this, and it just instills into our young women, our little girls. They say, wow, look, okay, not only are you an anchor on a sports network, right? A couple of them too, by the way, come from a sports family. So you've got that team spirit, a model as well, because a lot of people stereotype a person. Oh, you're beautiful. So, what do you do? They can already think they know what you do. And some people ask questions not really to listen to what you have to say, actually. And I want to tell you that a great quality of a great person is great listening skills as well. And it's sometimes hard to talk about who you are and what you do, but a fact is a fact. And you're a public figure, and you take that role and responsibility very seriously, because there are people looking up to you, and they want to strive to be the best that they can. And if they see that you're doing that each and every day and instilling motivation and hope in your audience, then you can say, well done for that day. The only competition that you have is to be better than you were the day before.
Absolutely. And that's exactly it. I think something I also always encourage others to keep in mind is we live in such a digital age that we're always comparing ourselves. Social media makes it easy to do that. You can easily scroll through your Instagram timeline or your Facebook or Twitter and see what this person's doing that you went to school with, or what this relative is doing, or what this old teammate is doing, or old colleague is doing, and get caught up in comparing. And at the end of the day, comparisons don't help you in any way whatsoever. The only comparison that really does matter is to yourself. And for me, I always try to keep in mind where I'm at currently, where I was when I started, and where I'm going, ensuring that I'm moving with intention, with purpose, and staying focused in that. So not getting lost, because it's easy for me to sit up and say at 28 years old, comparing myself to some of my friends and former classmates, to say that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or get caught up in thinking I'm behind or I'm doing something wrong, when at the end of the day, it's my journey. So where I am now compared to when I was even in that image of me graduating in 2014 from college, I am a completely different person. I have learned so much. I have grown so much. I have changed in so many ways. So no, I'm not where my colleague may be that I see on Instagram, but we also have to keep in mind that we can't get caught up in the images and the illusions that we're seeing. People are putting out these positive images, but they're not putting out the long days, the tears, the frustration. So I have found myself growing more when I keep in perspective that, you know, at the end of the day, I may have a hard day, but so does somebody else. Nobody has an easy journey. Nobody is ever fully doing all that they want to. Everyone's always striving to do more. So to get caught up in comparisons or looking for validation and likes and followers, that is the wrong mentality. At the end of the day, it's about myself and those that are closest to me. If I'm doing what's right, if I'm walking in my purpose, if I'm keeping myself to a higher standard ethically, spiritually, then that validation comes from within. You know, and being spiritual, I always keep in mind the only person I'm focused on, the only higher being is God and my family. I don't want to ever upset my parents or my siblings. But for others, it's not about likes, it's not about followers, it's not about anything other than keeping myself accountable to be the best person I can be. So I agree with you in that we have to understand that validation comes from within. We can't seek it from others.
Well, that is so true. You know, you made a number of points, and distraction leads to destruction. And if you're not self-aware of what it is that your purpose is, and self-assured, and keep individuals around you that keep you motivated and help edify you and you them, that is a healthy environment. That's a healthy culture that you have to decide for yourself. What environment, what kind of energy are you putting out and want to surround yourself with? And then that's exactly right. Competition. Friendly competition is good, right? So you're checking out your friends on Facebook and they're doing the daggone thing. And, you know, like, kudos to you. That's inspiration. That's the other thing. The type of individual company that you keep, whether it's social media or personally, is very impactful to your soul and the energy that you want to have in you. Because if you entertain negativity, it will seep in, and discount all of that. And comparing yourself to one another, no. Listen, don't be a dream buster either. If you have this dream, I believe in that too. If you love it, I love it as well. How can I be of service and help you get to where you're going? And if there's more people like that, believing in one another's dream, because my dream is different. And who are you to say whether my dream matters or not? If it matters to me and you're a really great confidant and friend, then it should matter to you as well. You know, help one another get to where they want to go in life. And it would be a better world. It will certainly be a better world. Now, can you share with any pitfalls along your journey? Because obviously, listen, I talk about this all the time. There's no such thing as perfection. The only being was perfection is God, right? And so we are bound to fail. But it's through the failures is that you evolve and you change, because you alluded to graduating from LaSalle in 2014. We show the picture that you're a much different person than you were before then. And you've allowed yourself to stay present, to be downloaded into, to become this beautiful being that you have and are and continue to be, because you embrace change. You embrace all that it is that you are destined to do, and only you can do it. Do you know that there are people waiting for you to walk in your destiny in order for them to receive their blessings? Because gifts are meant to be given away, and the more you give, the more you receive. So pitfalls along the way. We've all had failures. Tell us and give us an example of that and how you've overcome it.
Oh, just one. You know, I think something, before I even get into that, and I love what you're saying, something that I heard a while back, or a couple quotes, and I'll just throw them out, is one is, you know, we often get surprised by failures or things that happen in our life, but it's not a surprise to God. You know, at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to push my spirituality on anybody, because that's not the conversation here, but I'm just saying, whatever you're going through it might be surprising to you, but it's already happened. And I know that for me, anytime anytime I have a pitfall, like I've applied to countless jobs and been rejected. I jokingly say this, but at some point I even applied to Uber and was rejected because I have a speeding ticket from a while back that I didn't know was going to factor into me applying for Uber. But anyways, I'm like, wow, I can't even get a job at Uber? So there are pitfalls, there are failures, there are rejections. But when I look back on some of those same networks and jobs, specifically in sports reporting that I've applied for, and I thought, this is unbelievable that I can't find the next job. And then I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm thankful I did not have that job. I've outgrown that job. That job would not have helped propel me to what was next. You know, so I think we often get caught up in like, why me? Why isn't it happening for me the way I want? Why not me? At the end of the day, it's not always a bad thing. You know, and there's this quote that like, why are you taking me through all these storms? And the response is, because I know your enemies can't swim. You know, like, why? Sometimes we think we're being surrounded by all these terrible things, but at the end of the day, through that, we're letting go of some things, we're learning some things, we're growing in some ways that we would not have been able to learn and grow had things been easy. COVID was a great example. I was not working around COVID. That's another pitfall I had. My work as a reporter is mostly in freelancing. So I was working with the Philadelphia Union. Actually, at the time, I was not working with the Philadelphia Union. I was working with ESPN doing college athletics. I was working with Fox Sports doing, coverage for my show and the Mystics and Wizards. So once COVID hit and sports stopped, so did my work. But come September, I get an email from the Philadelphia Union saying that they are starting up their broadcast. They are looking for some broadcaster. They have a couple games they need someone to fill in. Would I be interested and available? And the irony of this is that I actually reached out to the union over a year prior. So in 2019, actually that might have been 2018, I reached out to the Philadelphia Union seeking a job at the time and thinking, can I just come shadow? Can I come see what you've got going on? Can I come see how you run your productions, how you do your game broadcast? And at the time they were saying, we don't have an opportunity for you. And at that time I heard no, but in reality it was really just not yet. And there's a difference. Sometimes you may think that it's a no, but it really is not. I wasn't fully prepared at that time, in my opinion. But now when I was able to step into this role September of 2020, when all this chaos is going on, when I'm wondering why I'm not working and all these other things, and here I get a great opportunity to step into the MLS as a game day host and broadcaster, I realized it wasn't a no. The door didn't fully shut. It was just being postponed. And I was able to appreciate the opportunity more. I was excited for it more. I was able to prepare in a different way because I had been told no or not yet. So I think sometimes we often assume that our setbacks are really to hurt us, to block us, but we don't know what we're being blocked from. We don't know what we're being kept from. We don't know what we're being pushed to. So I've had so many pitfalls and so much rejection, so many moments in my life where I've had to kind of reroute. I think of like a navigator when it reroutes you and recalculates to find you the best route. That's what I'm doing in life. So, you can't get caught up in the failure of this moment because, again, when I look back a month ago, I actually am in the process of moving, which is why this has been a chaotic time in general. But when I look back, I'm like, everything has worked out for the best. So now when I step into any sort of failures, I actually almost laugh because I'm like, oh, this is what's happening? All right, that means something's great happening, gonna come my way. Or this job didn't want me, that means I'm getting a better job. Or whatever it may be. Like I almost am like, all right, Satan, bring it on, let's go. This is your best shot that you can throw my way. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna learn from it and I'm gonna run with it. So you do have to have almost that confidence and understanding that whatever is meant for you will be. It's already ordained, it's already happening, you're stepping into it. So we have to have that bigger perspective, which gets hard sometimes, but a lot of pitfalls to answer your question.
I can certainly appreciate that, and so I see so many likenesses in that story, and so many points again as well. God's delays are not His denials, by the way, and then timing is everything. So when you think you've heard a no, and it actually was a no, but it may mean not just yet or ever, because there may be another opportunity around the corner. So perspective, putting things in perspective is very much key. And just really understanding what your purpose is, allowing yourself to be open and to receive all of that information that is for you. Again, absolutely great advice. Great advice. Now, tell us about your modeling career. You're beautiful. It seemed like it would be an easy enough transition, but it's challenging to get into any kind of profession that brings you attention in television, radio, the media. Absolutely. Tell us how you transitioned into that.
Yeah, it has been difficult because modeling is completely different. So I'm a tomboy at heart in general. So even just every aspect of being on TV with having to have my makeup and my hair done, which is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's also different for me. You know, I grew up playing sports and having to be constantly, that was my focus. You know, it wasn't about, for me, I was like what I like to call a late bloomer in that aspect. So for modeling, it's definitely challenging in that I'm understanding I am beautiful. And I think something I've always struggled with is that insecurity. You know, I'm 5'11", I'm skinny, I've always been skinny. I always felt like I didn't have the body or the curves or the shape or the smile. I didn't have braces until I was in college, all these different aspects. I was the stereotypical person growing up with a lot of insecurities. And so I, as a model, have to push past that. And that's one of the biggest challenges. It's a personal challenge of understanding that when I get in front of a camera, and it's the same thing for reporting as well, actually. When I get in front of a camera, I am beautiful, and I'm beautiful in my own way. And I do know so many kids, especially growing up, we struggle with that because we are always comparing ourselves. I didn't have boys that were interested in me. I wasn't dating. I wasn't popular in that sense. So it was hard. And I hate to have that cliche story, but it's the truth. And I think modeling is that personal, and not a validation, but that personal moment of growth for me of, I can be whatever it is I want to set my mind to be. I can be a model. I've actually done some commercials. I've done a fashion show. I've done different aspects in this industry that I never would have imagined. So it kind of goes back to even when we talk about pitfalls of understanding that as a kid, when I used to think, gosh, no boy's ever going to like me and this, that, and the third, here I am, fast forward years later, and I actually have a lot of the people that I mentor and that I work with that are like, really, you? They never would expect it. But that's the hurdle, whether it's a personal hurdle, whether it's a professional, an insecurity. We all have these hurdles that we're dealing with and that we're overcoming, which is why I always try to remind people there is no perfect life. There is no perfect journey. Because I look back at where I was then to where I am now, and I'm like, I wish I could tell that little girl, keep your head up. It's okay. Keep smiling. Keep going, because life is working out for you. And I think back to that time compared to now, and I'm thankful for it because I do appreciate, even you saying I'm beautiful. I appreciate it more. I don't take it for granted. I love the fact that I can openly smile and be happy and walk in the skin I'm in proudly. So again, it's almost a pitfall that was personal that I dealt with that I've overcome. So modeling has been fun. It's been exciting. It's been new. And I'm still not where I want to be within that, but I'm, again, much farther than I was when I first started.
Absolutely. And, you just said that. If you could go back and tell your little girl, yourself as a little girl, you are beautiful, you are capable, you are enough, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? You can do it. And that's what we are here to do on the Dr. Nancy Knows Show, is to motivate all of you, little girls, little boys. You can do it. The I ams. I am beautiful. I am enough. The I am affirmations. Embrace it. Embrace it. That comfort zone that you talk about. When you step outside the comfort zone, it is not comfortable. But boy, what do you discover? Gifts that you didn't even know you had. And so that's amazing. Renee, we are out of time for this segment, but you are going to stick around for the next as well. And we want to get to know more about what Renee Washington is doing in our community at large. Remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next, because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy. Welcome to our clinics. We believe that personalized care and relationship building are the basis of improving health outcomes. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you gain healthcare providers who take the time to understand your health goals and find solutions. We offer optional medical memberships, giving you peace of mind and quality care. We provide both medical and aesthetic services in 2 Arizona locations. We practice the highest standards of patient care. We respect patients' rights. We safeguard patient confidences. We treat patients with compassion. You are invited to call the office to schedule an appointment or online at a time that is convenient for you. Call to schedule 480-669-6452 or visit our website at drnanciesintegrativemedicine.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine. I'd like to tell you about a service that I offer, ProFit Laser Lipo. Did you know that you could lose up to 2 inches in 20 minutes, no downtime, pain, or surgery? 8 sessions are recommended for maximum results. Call today, 480-669-6452, or schedule online at drnanciesintegrativemedicine.com.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
All right, we are back with Renee Washington, and she is giving us really so much information, inspiration, motivation through her experiences in life. Remember, she is a female, 3-time Division I All-American soccer athlete, ESPN and Fox Sports anchor, news reporter, right? And she's so much more. She's so much more. And it's a wonderful thing when a person has many different talents and actually shares them, right? Share them in a good, productive, meaningful way. You know, we've all come across people in our lives that say things, but not really of the heart, and we can really honestly see when it's not sincere. You know, Renee, she believes in transparency, and I hope all of you see her sincerity and in the words that she's speaking to us today, and of all of the footage that we've shown her. So not only is she speaking it, but she's actively participating in it herself and sharing of herself to others as well. Young little girls and boys, she doesn't discriminate. And making a difference is what matters in this country. We are all hurting, we're healing right now, and we need love, inspiration, motivation, and hope. And that's all free, and that's what we're doing today. So Renee, thank you so much for being who you are. And I just know that it's been a blessing and a gift for me to know you. And I know that you and I will be in touch and do some great things in the future. I would want that. So listen.
Thank you again so much for having me here.
Oh, you're very welcome, definitely. Now, I know that you said you've coached as well, and business owner, author. Tell us a little bit more about your it's BNP, I think it is, right? It's, yes, planted, not buried. And I love that concept, right? Because, I always root for the underdogs. I mean, heck, I was one growing up, and my journey was, it was tumultuous. But it's okay, because I wouldn't change a thing. It's made me more resolved and determined in what my life mission is. And that's to be the change, be impactful, be present in people's lives. And what I do for a living, I honestly say it's certainly a privilege to be in front of someone that divulges their secrets and they're in their most vulnerable state. And why wouldn't I be compassionate? And it's an absolute gift that I'm able to make a difference, and that they're willing to even share that information with me. And I know that you feel the same way. And plated, not buried, is so significant. It's so powerful. And I know that you chose it with much meaning behind it. Can you share with us why?
Yeah, so absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that 2020 and COVID brought for me personally was just a lot of time to reflect and perspective on what I'm doing and what else I can be doing. You know, it was a time for me to stop putting things on the back burner and start putting things into fruition. And so I actually took that time. I did launch a number of things throughout 2020, including Planted Not Buried. And my idea behind it was understanding that in our darkest moments, much like a seed in the ground, we often assume that we've been forgotten, that again, it's that woe is me moment of why is everything going wrong for me? But in reality, we've been planted. Mm-hmm. And we have not been buried in that sense and forgotten. We've been planted to bloom into something and blossom into something far more beautiful and powerful than we ever could have imagined. But I also do feel as though throughout the course of my career, I've heard a number of people saying that they don't know where to turn for this. They don't have support, asking, you know, where they can go get the best resources or guidance or, you know, just in general, someone that they can turn to for impactful conversation. And so I decided to create this network of exactly that. It's just a Slack channel because I figured Slack is something that's an app that can be downloaded wherever you are in the world. There's no limit to it. It allows you to have different channels, so you can have different topics that you're discussing and conversations you're focusing on. But for people to be able to connect and get to know each other and have that village that's surrounding them. Something that has really helped me in my career is that I do have close colleagues, a circle of people I trust that I can turn to. Someone I can ask about outfit advice. Someone I can ask about interview questions. Someone I can ask about every aspect, because it's more than just what you see. You know, it's more than just what we know. There's so many other pieces of, you know, that we're learning and putting together to try to, you know, grow as a person. So this is an opportunity for people to come together, to learn, to grow together, to be empowered, to be inspired in some way, or even just have good conversation. And I think now more than ever, with everybody being in their different isolated parts of the world, why not create something that allows people to connect with others? We held a Zoom call where anybody that was available was able to jump on and see each other virtually face to face. But I really am very focused on using my platform to help inspire others. So Planted Not Buried is an opportunity to connect, to empower, to motivate, to learn, and to grow, so that we can all step into our winning season. And that's the goal of it.
Now listen, okay, you are exceptionally busy, but you find the time to give more and more of yourself. And this service that you're providing is all free. And it comes from your years of expertise and even your resources that you've tapped into as well. What a wonderful, wonderful concept. Now, you know, again, I've said this before, you know how someone would say, yes, I'm here for you, but then when a person reaches out, they're not obtainable. Saying one thing and doing it and being there are certainly two different things. And Renee, you do just that. You are so socially connected. We do have a link of how to get in touch with you. There's so many different ways to get in touch with you. And that's wonderful because accessibility is paramount. It's such essential. And again, you're not just saying it, you're doing it. You are there. You are there.
Yes. Well, that's something that I feel like has really helped me in my own career, is understanding that you can only do so much by yourself. And I'm a very independent person. I'm a very big on doing, you know, taking ownership of my own responsibilities and everything. But there is a time where you need someone to turn to lean on, to help push you through those tough moments. And I think one of the biggest things that soccer has taught me as an athlete growing up is that the sky really is the limit. And being able to be named an All-American 3 times was that moment where I realized, since growing up in a predominantly white sport, and my dad coached me who never played soccer, and all these different trials and tribulations I dealt with, when I was able to receive that tremendous honor, I was also named one of the top 50 women in the NCAA across all female sports. These different aspects that were coming together and accomplishments really showed me the power of the mind. And so I've really carried that into who I am as a professional, because I realized if I was able to reach the stage that I did as a kid, not really understanding what I was doing, to now move with intention and know exactly what I'm doing, just how much we can possibly do as a village, as a community. So my goal is always to inspire someone else, is always to help somebody else understand that, to change people's mindsets. Because for me, the biggest reason why I am who I am, the success I've had, the honors and accomplishments, is all because of a mentality change. It's one thing to have all the talent, it's another thing to know how to use it, and it's another thing to know how to use it when things get tough. So I have always really tried to focus on my approach, my mindset, and helping to spread that to others, because as you know, you can have a very negative outlook and it really can weigh down. Negativity, unfortunately, is not something that's ever going to help you grow. That is the weed in a plant, blocking the resources, the water, the sunlight, everything. But we want to get rid of that negativity. We want to remove those weeds from our lives, those things that are blocking us, so that we can flourish and grow. So yes, I'm very big on not only just talking the talk, but walking the walk, but then walking the walk and bringing others along. Let's walk together so that we can all grow and move forward in the right way, because there's enough negativity in this world, as we're still seeing to this day, with the recent events that happened in Atlanta and so much that's going on, that I want to be someone that's helping to make a change.
That's great. That's really, really great. And you're right. It takes a team. It takes a village. And there are certain things that you have to walk alone. But again, helping others and bringing them a hand up is what I often call it as well. So listen, Renee, we are almost out of time, but you're going to stick around for this next segment that we call And Now.
Boost your awareness, thereby increasing your health and wealth.
So this segment, really, it's talking about things that a person, organization, business can do that would boost their awareness, thereby increasing their health and or wealth. They're both interchangeable, and without health you can't have wealth, right? And so what tips do you have for the viewers and listeners today, Renee?
Well, the first, and I've touched on this before throughout this conversation, is to really just change your perspective. I heard this great message once that was saying, we often assume that because things are going wrong, that it's because things are not working out for us. But I think when you think back to like an athlete, for example, that's being double teamed, the best athletes, let's just talk about basketball, LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden, the best athletes, Michael Jordan when he was playing, are double teamed, they're triple teamed, they're on the top of the scattering report. There's someone that you have to focus on. That's the same thing in life. When things start feeling like everybody's against you, and I welcome the challenges and adversity, because it allows me to know that if things are easy, that means that I'm not doing something right. It's when things are tough and challenging that I understand that I'm actually stepping into something that's going to challenge me and make me grow. So like a player being double teamed, you've got to welcome that. I'm not saying you just sit back and take it all in. You welcome it, but you also approach it in a way that you can grow and learn from it. So definitely just having the right perspective in that, if you are feeling as though the devil is throwing all these things at you, that's because when the devil gets to the point of feeling like there's no way to stop you, they will hit you where it hurts. They will hit you where you're vulnerable. They'll try to hit you where you're weak. And that's what you have to understand is, in my opinion, an opportunity to realize that you really are that close to whatever is next. So definitely changing your perspective, but it also being a life learner. I do have my master's degree, but I've never stopped learning. I'm always studying, reading. I'm very big on reading books, very big on watching and listening to different sermons and podcasts and people's stories. I love those self-help books and stories that people are sharing of their own trials and tribulations, because although I'm not walking their path, I can learn something from that. I've studied other reporters and anchors and listen to how they deliver content. So never stop learning, because when you do, that lack of stimulation also forces you to get complacent. You have to continue evolving. You have to continue growing. I know I touched on this earlier as well, but you really do have to always find ways to continue to level up, because in this world, it is too easy to do the bare minimum. But we don't want that. If you want more, you have to do more. So just always finding ways. If you feel like you've accomplished something, you of course always celebrate the small victories. You definitely should celebrate it, and then go set out to do something different. Make a new goal, make a new challenge for yourself, a 1-week goal, a 1-month goal, a 1-year goal, something that can just keep you thriving towards being better. And that's when you will really see the fruits of your labors and everything that you're putting come together and come into fruition. So those are, I think, two of the biggest things I would say is just changing your perspective, but then always being a learner of life in general.
Well, you're such a motivator. I mean, you're certified mentor as well. I mean, can I just keep you around in my pocket and pull you out whenever I need you? Renee, you're totally awesome. I'm gonna give a quote, and if you have another tip, we'll have one more. But this is an unknown quote, and it says, "Success isn't just about what you accomplish in life. It's about what you inspire others to do." And so that's so fitting for our topic and what you're doing in your community at large as well. Yeah, definitely. I have one more too, actually, and this is just about surrounding yourself with good energy and individuals that pour into you as well, right? Because we're such nurturing and giving people, but at the end of the day, what do? And I often say, make yourself a priority. And whatever that means to you, just take some time out, like a mental day, and do what makes you happy, right? And fill up, because it's the overflow that you give to others. And being the best that you can certainly be, it makes it so much better for others that you're interacting with as well. So here's the other one. You'll know the people that feel your soul because you feel good after spending time with them. And that's another thing. It's about that positive vibes and the positive energy, we're talking about today. Sometimes the little girls don't understand what that means. Like, what is positive energy, positive vibes? Well, it's a good feeling. It's that gut intuition that says, wow, I want more of that because that made me feel really good. That person did as well. So listen, we are almost out of time, Renee. We are actually. I'm going to have you back on the show because there's so much more to tell about you. I love having you here. Gotten so much positive feedback on Facebook, and they just love what you're saying. And I just want you to know that I'm grateful to have our paths have crossed, and I just know that it will not be the last time, and I wish you much success in all of your endeavors.
Thank you so much. I can't believe how fast that time went by. I love all the work that you're doing, and I hope that people do take out of this, as we touched on, to stop comparing yourself, to validate yourself, to make sure you have a positive outlook. Also just finding that balance, as you talk about, but then also creating your own. I think that's my last tidbit I would give somebody, is whether it is a social media show or starting that business or starting to write that book, whatever it may be, create your own legacy, create your own. That way, no matter what is happening in the world around you, you always have something that is yours, that you can always have control over. And that way you're pouring your gifts into something that's going to not only help you grow and learn, but hopefully help somebody else as well. So take time to figure out what it is you enjoy doing. Take time to figure out what you love and what you're passionate about, because it's through that you really will find your purpose. But I really appreciate you having me on. It has been a pleasure. I'm thankful for all the comments that we're getting and positive feedback. And hopefully we're inspiring some, and I know you've inspired me, so I'm sure we're doing the same for others as well.
Thank you, Renee. Bye. So listen, everyone, I have some news to share with my viewers and listeners. It's greatness but sadness at the same time. I am moving to a television network. Dr. Nancy Knows is going to go to Star Worldwide Networks. It's television production, and we will start producing and broadcasting April 10th. And information can be obtained at drnancyknows.com and Star Worldwide Networks /Dr. Nancy Knows. So listen, everyone, we have a wonderful guest coming up next week. She is a clinical hypnotherapist, and her name is Sherry Jackson. You do not want to miss what she has to say in regards to treating individual concerns alternatively, holistically. Sherry Jackson is up on our show next week. Remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. We'll see you next week.
optimal health requires you to perform at your peak potential. Start today. Be the change you wish to see in the world. This was Dr. Nancy Knows. Thank you for connecting. We're waiting for you on our next broadcast here at EMR, eMotion Radio.